you're a year into this thing, well, a little bit more than a year. Just how far have you come as a football player in that time?
Ja, ich glaube, in diesem einen Jahr habe ich auf jeden Fall sehr viel dazugelernt. No, I'm joking. I think I got pretty far in this 1 year alone. I feel way more confident. I know the calls. I know how people move. I certainly know the speed of the game, and I just feel overall more confident. And I think that shows on the field too.
How cool was it to get a reception the other night?
Pretty cool. I mean, it took me almost 2 years, but pretty cool to check that off the list. Looking forward to more.
But when you look at kind of the grand scheme of things, what were your goals coming into this camp? Is it just continue to improve? Have you given any thought to like, hey, maybe I can be on the roster or be on the practice squad? I mean, how are you looking at that?
I mean, I just try to come in every day, give my all. But since I knew I'm gonna feel more confident, feel more, confident overall, I just wanted to give it my best shot every day and see what comes from that. And I think I'm on the right track wherever that leads. That's all right. I mean, at the end of the day, you can only do your best every day, and what comes out of it is what comes out of it. Right.
Has Max given you any other book report subjects or movie recommendations?
No, not this year.
What were some of your experiences growing up watching football? Like, who were the guys you watched?
Yeah. So when I grew up, football back home wasn't too big at all. Not really a big presence in the TV. The time change is pretty drastic. So when I was younger, my mom wouldn't let me stay up that late. So what I used to do is get my neighbor to record it on DVD, watch it the next morning or the next day. That's how I watched football. And then when YouTube got around and Game Pass, I usually watched it there. I was allowed to stay up a little longer, watch the early games. So yeah, and of course playing, watching the European football. But yeah, the NFL was a little tricky to get my fingers on.
Did you hear from a lot of people after making the reception?
Yeah, always. Also, last preseason, I really feel like people got my back home. Obviously, it's a big deal back home. But yeah, all of them know me, know how I go about things. And yeah, they got my back. They enjoy the ride with me, basically. And yeah, that gives me security also. Like, I'm not doing this alone. I got people in my back.
How's it been just adjusting to just life in the United States and here in Arizona?
Obviously, at first, getting all those like social security number, bank account, that was a little bit not tough, but it took up a lot of time going to different places, getting all that figured out. But this year, I knew where I'm gonna live. I got all that figured out, so that's not been on the schedule. So I got more time just to focus on the sport, focus on me, and also a little more free time.
How much has football grown for you, for back home for you?
It's huge. 2 years ago, we had the first. I mean, after the NFL Europe, we had the first professional football league. They don't get anywhere near the money soccer or football over here gets, obviously, but it's a step in the right direction. And you see more and more people from Europe and all around the world playing in college, universities, and it's getting more and more mainstream. It's not just the odd sport out back home. People really want to play it, see a future in it. So yeah, it's growing.
You had mentioned how much you feel like everybody back home has your back and everything. So do you feel any kind of pressure being this trailblazer from your area to be in the NFL, or is it more like a pride that you are that guy?
I wouldn't say pressure. It's just more of a blessing to be that guy, to be in that position, to make those next steps for European football, for the football international, and set the path basically for other guys in the future.